At last.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do, I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose.
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? Everybody, it's Angelus represent for the Grey Pill Podcast. If you're new, definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and definitely hit the all because YouTube is kind of wonky. Where we're here, we talk about different perspectives and hearing everybody's opinions on vast topics. So here we go. So like I say, recently, about 5 months ago, Andrew Tate was arrested in late December of 2022 on the charges of rape, tax evasion, and sex trafficking. Excuse me, rape, tax evasion, and sex trafficking. I want to make sure I get that right. He was just recently released about, I think like a month ago, and he hasn't been charged yet, but recently he just went on an interview with BBC. So I want to get that away. How you doing, CJ? So I want to get that reaction out the way now. So just a little update, because I want to make sure people get refreshed on this, because I know a lot of people don't go back and check out recent videos. People don't go back and do recaps on a lot of things. So I want to get this out the way. So make sure y'all guys see this. I'm still going to retire StreamYard. You just don't know. Okay, cool. All right, so it says here Tate, along with his brother Tristan and two other suspects. That's the two women that allegedly is his bottom bees and that works closely with him. Suspects was arrested and will be held by police for 24 hours. That was then in late December of last year.
The Matrix has attacked me.
All right, so I want to get this because generally I don't like to speak on. How you doing, D? Generally, I don't like to put too much of my opinion on this, so I like to let everybody think what they need to be thinking. I appreciate you, Car. So from after that, videos been popping up of Andrew Tate having conversations or pretty much a blueprint conversation of how he was doing his webcam business and then some. So I want to play that because I did a reaction to it 4 or 5 months ago with my own input, but I want to play it out and let everybody get their own perspective of it. So I'm going to play that and we'll get straight into the interview. Now, this is his own words, what he did a while ago when he started the whole webcam business, pretty much giving guys a how-to on how to get the women, start the business, and everything else.
The process is the same as the PhD course. You message them on Instagram. The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam. until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal, no mention of webcam. You fuck the girl. After you fuck the girl, you do the PhD test. If she passes the PhD test and she wants to be with you, then you start mentioning things like, yeah, but you know, you're always busy. You're always at work. You can come work for me. So, as I said, you cannot try and approach girls to do webcam. Hi, do you want to do webcam? It's bullshit. It doesn't work. No one's going to say yes. And any girl who does say yes is doing it. She doesn't like you. She doesn't know you. She doesn't love you. She's saying yes purely for money. And any girl who wants money.
God bless you. Let's continue.
Money that bad is going to skank you and leave you when she realizes you get a big cut of it. So even if you do get a girl to say yes that way, even if you do say to a girl, look, let's make some money, she's only in it for the money. She's not in it to please you. And if she's only in it for the money, she's going to get pissed off with her cut. Because they're going to Google up how much a token's worth, how many tokens they made, and all that shit. And get pissed off with their cut. Remember the tax thing, so you only have to pay them 30% instead of 50%. It's important for your profitability. So you don't want a girl who's in it for money. You want a girl who's in it to be with you. So you meet a girl, you take her on dates, you fuck her, whatever. She passes the PhD test. Then you start saying things like,
hey, do anybody know what the PhD test is? PhD test. Because they keep saying that. So maybe it's me. I'm ignorant to the facts. Let me look that up real quick. Normally, it's probably a slang terminology. PhD test. That's crazy. It popped up as a PhD test in Matrix. That's a Matrix form. Contains. Okay, that's not it. Is it a slang terminology? PhD test. Doctor cyber speak test, and you know what PhD means. What you okay? So it's like, I guess. You got here saying the doctor of philosophy, cyber speak. So they got to be witty as cyber, or just like, hey, let me find out how more dumb they are. Okay.
oh yeah, but you're always working. I have to do some traveling and you can't come. I want to bring you with me. Traveling is a great one because the thing about this business is mobile. If you can find a good Airbnb with good internet, you can run it somewhere else. So it's a good little caveat to throw in. And you're always working. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together? Work for you doing what? So you'll have a webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So, okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen, come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. Your bottom bitch, the new girl, you go out.
All right, now he said himself, I'm talking to you to get you to come over to me. Now I'm going to bring the bottom bitch. So I'm guessing he's talking about the two women that was arrested in December with him and his brother. Let's go.
For fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from a girl. And this is where your bottom bitch has to be.
The girl has to hear from the girl. All right, got it. Let's go.
Trained. So I said it's so important to have a good first girl. My first girl was so good, it was easy. My girl would sit there and go, oh my God, before this I was a waitress and it was shit. And now I do this, I make so much money. And the guys all love me and they adore me. And on my birthday, they send me presents. I get so much money, blah, blah, blah. It's so much fun. And we stay at home and da-da-da-da. And we're going to go to Thailand soon. We're going to be working in Thailand. And we're going to stay there for as long as you want. You should come with us. It's going to be so much fun. Da-da-da-da. Martinis, martinis, martinis. Bang. Threesome. Slam them both.
You know what's funny? When he was getting through, it was a little short there, but when he was getting through, like, hey, the martinis, the bottles, the wine, it's pretty much like the glams and glitter type thing. And we'll dumb it down. Let's say for the homies in the hood, you know, they like a dude with the car. Let's say he don't got the car, but he got the nice house. And then he comes to the house, the place is smelling good. He got the drinks. He got certain things out there specifically only for that female to get their eyes, lit up, and which is sad because if your eyes is lighting up like, oh my god, he got the nicest car, that should be just a red flag, just cause alone. If you're leading with that off the rip, that should be a red flag. So this is pretty much how I'm perceiving it right here.
The bottom bitch knows. This girl's like, okay, well, I'll try it. Put both girls on camera together the first day, so the new girl can sit there and just sit with the other girl and get drunk. Give them a bottle of vodka. Put on the fucking chatterbait, 100 tokens per shot. The guys will send loads of money to get the girls drunk because guys like drunk girls. Girls will sit there, get drunk, have a great.
I'm gonna go ahead and be honest. I don't like a drunk girl because I feel like I haven't performed well, or it might be a lie. I want her 100% where she needs to be, focused on me, not the bottle of Patron, the Henny, whatever y'all ladies like prefer drinking.
Time. You say it's your new job now. You don't go to work ever again. That's how you recruit girls. Do not recruit girls any other way.
There you go. Now it's more to it and more conversations to that. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole gist of how he recruits the girl. In his words, how you recruit the girls, how you get the girls to the webcam. There, sir. But the one that I want to have the conversation about and a reaction to is the interview with BBC. Because I found that since he got released, I'm like, okie dokie. So let me find it real quick. I just had it. And I will check into the girl. I might do a reaction of just a short little reaction of that and the upload about the women, because I think both, if not one, is still locked up. So we will see. We will see. Again, shout out to everybody that's coming in. I appreciate your Brett. Appreciate your car. Appreciate the ladies that stepped in. Anybody, again, if you're new, please hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the bell notification, the all bell, because YouTube is silly. So I even just recently found out somebody that I subscribed to, I literally had to hunt them down and find them on YouTube, because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm subscribed to them. I hit the all bell notification. Somehow, some way, YouTube is literally just unsubscribed to me. So if you do me a favor, if you're just coming in, hit the like button. As you're coming in and walking out, definitely hit the subscribe button. And please, please, please make sure you hit the all bell notification. It helps out a lot. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate you. So I appreciate you, CJ. CJ says, the PhD test is if she's trying to keep your interest after you sleep with her, so she'll do anything for you. Wow. I took it as a dummy test. Like, let me see if how intellectually, unintentionally aware of how they unaware of what I'm about to do to them. If I'm going to love bomb them, if I'm going to flex on them, if I'm going to put all the glitters and glam. That's literally how I took it. So that's I think we're kind of saying the same thing, but that's how I took it. Like, let me see how unaware of the situation that she's really into, and let me keep pouring it on, the quote unquote love bombing, and then we'll see how far I can go. Right? Is that what mostly the fellas do at the club? Hey, let me put the perfume on. Most men like the brute. I don't. Let me put the perfume, the cologne on. Let me hang out with the homies. I got the wingman. That's another one. Let me get the wingman on the side. Let me get all the traps ready for the woman and see how I can lure her in for the night to sleep with her. Isn't that usually how it works for most men? So for this occasion, it is, hey, the PhD test is to see if she's keeping your interest as you sleep with her. Boom. So he's trying to hit all the spots. So I appreciate that. All right, so here is the interview with Andrew Tate. Shout out to CJ. CJ says, he says, before you sleep with her, everything is games. After X, you drop your interest if the maintains. Yeah, it's a mind It's a mind screw. It's a mind screw. It's definitely a mind screw. That's all that is. It's definitely a mind screw.
Are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape.
Hey, I apologize if y'all guys can't hear because they don't have the actual professional microphones on, so the mics is like behind. They're at his house right now. So if you want to turn up the volume, if you got headphones on and you don't, just put some headphones on so not to interrupt anybody between their work or home, whatever. Definitely turn the volume up a little bit, as loud as it can go on my end. But this is the actual interview and audio in rawest form.
Human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern is about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have. I would argue that a lot of the things that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
Concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence, but let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that, but it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional
She didn't mention tax evasion. That's the main three.
manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. Firstly, let's begin. Let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already thrown out by a judge. There's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in the territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania. I have to protect myself. I've agreed to do an interview with you, and I want to be as honest with you as possible. Can't incriminate.
Yeah, that's the part I'm still baffling about. If I know I got charges on me, I don't care if it's a traffic ticket. Why am I having an interview with somebody knowing my case is still open? Like, to me, I don't get it, because I might make it worse for myself, corroborate myself in the worstest way. So I don't get it. But maybe he might shed some light on the situation.
Incriminate myself in any way, and I have to be very careful with what I talk about.
There are no charges yet.
Correct. There are no charges.
There
are no charges, and I've agreed to speak to you, but I have to be as honest and frank as I can, while also protecting myself and following my legal counsel.
So let's talk about what you've said yourself then. You have said on the website, for your original website for the Hustlers University, that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the sex industry for your financial gain.
As I said,
Just answer yes or no on that one. Well, okay, I understand the pivot.
Very careful with what I say, but let's put it this way. No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
And we, you know what, and I get it, he's speaking his piece on that one, but again, we 100% don't know that for sure. The charges is still out there, allegedly guilty or innocent. He has like to the end of the month until they actually press charges and he actually does the trial. Me personally, I hope it's live because I want to see that to the end. This is a very interesting case. Not saying it's pretty much a norm to most who actually dive into to grape. That it happens. People do it. It's a crime. It's a large thing that's been going on. Same thing with tax evasion. We already know how that goes. Big businesses does it all the time. They get caught. It takes time. The X trafficking. That's the most horrific stories I have heard in my life. And I'm so pleased that nobody I know personally have been into it, but I pray for the ones that have. It just sucks that a lot of people don't understand it and, pretty much jump on the other side like they don't know. So if you haven't been through it, you haven't watched it, you don't have somebody that dealt with it in any level of mental or physical abuse, I advise you to literally shut up because you don't know. You don't know. We're not talking about rumors. We're talking about actual people doing documentaries of their experiences of this, actual news media with the resources of what is going on when it comes to X trafficking. So not putting on Andrew Tate. I have my own bias, and I definitely has my own public opinion on this, only based on the stuff that he said himself. Shout out to the self-snitching out there, because it's a real thing. But it really doesn't look good on him. It really doesn't.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current investigation, which I cannot discuss, which I know intimately and you don't. I can tell you right now that the women who are in this case file, there are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying, and then nobody else is accusing me of anything.
To begin with, it's very common in cases like this that the alleged victims do not always see themselves as victims.
Well, that's very interesting. It's actually extremely interesting, because if I was a matrix-controlled organization, my goal was to...
Okay, what's going on with the Matrix Control Organization? Why we keep bringing up the Matrix? Why we keep bringing up in the movie? Make it make sense, Lord. Make it make sense. The movie, The Matrix, was in the late 90s, written by 2 women. Just saying. The rules of The Matrix from the movie, the first one, which is a great movie, by the way, was written by women.
Slander somebody and trying to destroy them. You're telling me that they've chosen a crime, which 1 is heinous, of course, because it damages the person's credibility, and 2, you're saying that even if everyone else involved, if you have 5 people and everyone's sitting there saying, no, nobody's hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigation.
Can I finish?
One of the witnesses said...
Can I finish, please?
You're not answering the question I've asked you. You're not answering the question
I am answering the question.
Let me read you the testimony of one of the witnesses.
You're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and pretend they're victims.
Treated as victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says...
We can't go into the...
Why are we even here? Why are we even here? You accepted an interview from BBC. Mind you, BBC was there doing the raid that when you got arrested. BBC was there. I saw her back. She was there. This don't make any sense. If I get arrested for a charge, the cameras and everything is on me. Why am I accepting the interview until the charges is not even either he's dropped or something? Why am I even trying to get an interview? All right, 4 minutes in, I'm getting triggered. This is crazy. Why are we having this interview? My man on house arrest. Got the ankle monitor on. In his room with the security cams. In his home.
Okay, the case is open and active.
Well, let's just be clear that not all of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you describe. And even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution, by the case.
We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me, and you have.
Yes, and you can't say 100% all of it, no. But the ones that was either a leak, we saw that. The ones that mainly one lawyer that I know specifically, shout out to him, that actually covering the self-snitching video has a document, has a lot of documents pulled out. Another big YouTuber by the name of Desi is another one. He worse than I was. He just dove right into every court case he can get his hands on, every piece of evidence that he said from his own words.
I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything.
And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system, and I'm not going to incriminate myself.
That you chose to go to. That you chose to go to. Your words. You and your brother chose to go there. And according to you, you said you can dump a bunch of money at their feet and you can get released. Unfortunately, you didn't. You've been sitting there for like months and you just recently got out.
Because you're trying to prod me. You are wrong, and we're going to have to accept that for now and talk about something else.
Let me read you then what you have said about
Sure.
what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think that's
exactly what
no.
you said.
That's no.
You're wrong, ma'am. Let me replay what he actually said. That's not what you're wrong, ma'am. That's not what he said. That is not what he said. Let me help the audience out real quick, because that's not what he said. He was you close. You are close, but that is not exactly what he said. Again, shout out to everybody that's coming in. If you're new, definitely appreciate you. Hit the bell and subscribe button. Definitely the all button, because YouTube is very wonky. And it hides and do a little bunch of things. So I appreciate you. So let me take this off. Let me share his actual words so we can have that clarity. Because now people are arguing about context right now. So if I say I'm going to knock you out, then like 5 years later, I'm like, oh, I was joking. No, you caught up with me. Now you want to give me hands because I told you I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to disrespect you. So yeah. So let's add the context.
Did not get a girl to work for you, haven't fucked. So the recruitment process is the same as the PhD course. You message them on Instagram. The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal. No mention of webcam. You fuck the girl. After you fuck the girl, you do the PhD test. If she passes the PhD test and she wants to be with you, then you start mentioning things like, yeah, but you know, you're always busy. You're always at work. You can come work for me. So, as I said, you cannot try and approach girls to do webcam. Hi, do you want to do webcam? It's bullshit. It doesn't work. No one's going to say yes. And any girl who does say yes is doing it. She doesn't like you. She doesn't know you. She doesn't love you. She's saying yes purely for money.
God bless you. So yeah, that was pretty much the gist of it, what he said in his own words. So back to the interview.
No, I've never said that. That's something you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it. And again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting that me, one of the most famous people in the world, who's been vilified by the legacy media and places all over the internet, while everyone has attacked me from every single angle, while federal agencies from multiple countries have called over 2,000 women who know me, we stand here with 0 new accusations since my arrest. 0. If you took any...
Again, just to be fair, this is his words versus everybody else's. So we don't know if the defense and everybody else actually called over 2,000 women. I don't even think the number is 2,000. I'm just, I think he's just guessing at this point. But even if it was 2,000 women, we don't know for sure if they spoke to 2,000. But hey, same thing with Bill Cosby. 40 years later, 40 women popped up. 16, 20 women popped up. So there you go.
Any famous person, any man of substantial wealth, and you called 2,000 women who knew him, they'd find an ex-girlfriend is upset, somebody who wants money who's upset. They called 2,000 people who knew me and could not find a single woman to make a new complaint. The only complaints they have against me are the initial complaints, which we can prove are lies, and That's where it stands. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to pretend that I'm some kind of evil predator. When actually, I'd argue the fact that people who've been investigated to the level I've been investigated to, if you take the average man on the street and investigate his entire life for 14 months, call everyone who's ever known him and vilify him in the media and encourage people to come forward for money, and you try to contact every ex-girlfriend he's ever had.
Would come forward and accuse those people of rape and accuse those
I
people
think that you would have a lot more. I think you would have a lot more flack than I've got. I'm actually such a nice person that I've never had anyone come at me.
To somebody since you're.
Ladies, y'all let me know, is from what y'all seen on the interview, the webcam girl video in Hustle University, his words, do y'all think he's a very nice person? I mean, I'm asking for a friend. I'm really asking for a friend. Do y'all think that he, from what you've seen so far in the interview and the webcam instructions, do you feel like he's a very nice person? Asking for a friend. Matter of fact, fellas, that has a sister, that has nieces, definitely has a mother that's involved in their life, definitely have a grandmother that's involved in their life, definitely have female friends that they're close to. Would you have this type of individual around your female counterpart, the close friends, the relatives? Would you feel like you need opening and welcoming arms, the stuff that he said, this person's saying and doing right now? Are you feel comfortable with this? Asking for a friend.
He says exactly those things. That with you, it's all manipulation. There's an ulterior.
Is this Sophie? Is this Sophie? Oh, Sophie, the fake name, no fake.
Shout out to Wally. He said, I will say this. If one girl that had allegedly spoke up in court and know all the girls' name, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. I didn't think about that, Wally. Yeah. It might be one of the bottom Bs. You know what? Because when I was covering this earlier, my thought process on this, the two main chicks that was with him, when he gave his whole instructions on how to, honestly, I was joking last time when I did a live stream because somebody brought it up. I was thinking that the brother might snitch, just spill all the beans. But the more I'm watching this, I think one of the women, because they know so much, they got just as much information, if not all. All they have to do is connect the dots. Because again, the three charges mainly is grape. That's a whole ball of wax right there. Then the second one is a tax evasion. I think last time we did a live stream about this, we all agreed. The grape, okay, cool. That might be an allegation. We can't 100% say on that, right? But it does look bad. Just the stigma alone. Just the stigma alone for men. So we get that. So we said, okay, our opinion, we're going to cross it out. The grape. Then we said, okay, tax evasion. Oh, that's a guaranteed. That's a guaranteed. His money is from the States all the way here, a country that he picked. Might be smart business for him, but in the long run, the dots is always going to connect. What they say, follow the money. Then you have the X trafficking. You have to pretty much prove three grounds of that. 3. And that's a lot. And everything that he's saying in the video is leading up to that. So I don't understand why would you come on. If I'm going to court, I'm having a suit, tie on. I'm gonna be the best version of me until this whole trial is done. That makes so much sense to me. But why would I come when I know my case isn't cleared? Why would I go and have interviews? So and I don't want to put on it, but for me, from the standpoint I'm looking at, it looking like I'm either I'm gonna get arrested. Because again, the first time before he got arrested in December, he was screaming about, he was literally saying stuff like, oh, they're coming, they know, they coming, they know. Bam, he got arrested. But then the special eds in the media was like, oh no, see, he knew. Okay, again, if I break the law and I know sooner or later I got a warrant at me and somebody's gonna come arrest me, I scream that all day too. Oh yeah, they coming, man. You know how the system gets. They coming for me the next time I get arrested for a speeding ticket. Make it make sense. So I think he already, and this is my opinion, I think he already knows that he's gonna get at least 1 out of 2 out of 3 charges against him. I don't know if he's gonna do time, but I'm just saying I think he know that he in too deep, and he want to get this whole media thing out there. So at least if he does like 5 or 10 years or whatever, or get some kind of sentencing, I think, hey, the Matrix got me. That would be the excuse. The Matrix got me. The system. So if he can't win on the legal side, maybe he can win on the media side with the public. My opinion.
Knowing
so
the story that was
wanting
invented.
to please him and wanting him to be happy, that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she accused? Has she accused me of a crime? This imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here, because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the question.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answer.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority.
We're not equal, sir. We're not equal. She's not being charged with 3 of the most worstest crimes out there, next to taking somebody's life. Y'all are not equals. Y'all are not equals. Y'all are not equals. You're having charges against you. You're not equals. You invited her and accepted her offer to do the interview. That's it.
I'm doing you legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you. And I'm telling you now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The BBC did not invent.
Of course not. And because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here? What is she?
Maybe we're talking about a person that is speaking up against you, that maybe she don't want to be known, she don't want to be found, or by the basis of the law, we know how corruption works on both ends, right? So if, again, for example, if I done something to somebody and then fearful and scared of their life, and then, hey, he got released, let's prepare for that. Let's give a fake name. Let's make up something. Let's call her, Brunhilde. So you can Google Brunhilde name all day, every day, but you will never find Brunhilde until the actual court case. It happens. It happens. It's a thing. Just like when people snitch against the mob. Hey, we need to hide this guy because he's giving it all the tea. He got all the evidence. He got all the receipts. So, let's put him in protection and protective custody until the date of the trial. But usually what happens is when the mob catch up to this person and they take him out, hey, they won't be able to testify. It could be on paper all day, but if they're not physically there to testify, the case is thrown out. Yay.
Has she the sex industry for your financial gain?
Absolute garbage. She has not filed criminal. This person, if they exist, has not filed criminal charges against me. I welcome anybody who believes I've harmed them, male or female, any point in the past, to file criminal charges against me. I will fight them. I know who I am. I know what I've done, and I know the truth. And I know that I'll be found innocent of this attack. The reason I'm being attacked is because of my massive influence, not because I've ever hurt anybody. And for you to sit here and say that everybody around you is saying you're innocent, but that doesn't matter because the state will say they're victims, and they're just going to grab everybody you know and call everybody victims, even if they say they're not, and try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix attack. You're not describing human trafficking.
I think I just want to play that back because he just described the matrix attack. So I'm sorry. I need to understand it because, again, the Matrix, the movie in the late 90s, mid 90s, was written, created by two women. Happily, I think one was a TS, another one was like something else. I don't know what they identify as, but they're women. And that's pretty much how this whole space is talking about these pill ideas movement that talks on, well, some say they're doing the betterment of building men, but most of I've seen always talk against women. But we're basing the grounds of the Matrix and all the pills is from women, which is weird.
And try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix attack. You're not describing human trafficking.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
We will see what women go. We will see what women go to court at the end of this trial. We'll see which women go.
Can I finish, please?
We'll see which women go to court.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human
Sophie hasn't gone to court. Sophie doesn't
and
exist.
I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length
Sophie doesn't exist.
and other media organisations about what they say is emotional manipulation, coercion, and I'm quoting back to you your own words where you describe
They're not my words.
coercion.
They're words
and
you found on the internet, and Sophie doesn't exist.
on
So
your
let's move on to
website,
the next
in
subject.
your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
No, I think I'll stick on this one for a minute.
Bruh.
There's other places in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you and they do it because they love you, because they want to do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you.
Yeah, what she's reading right now is literally from from Hustle University. This is literally what's on his website, which is I found that weird because I didn't know everything in depth. Shout out to Suzette Speak because she had an interview with somebody that was claiming to be Red Pill, a big fan and supporter of Andrew Tate, and really couldn't give no real details on Hustle University except for it's good. It motivates me. It puts me in high spirits, and that was it. But the actual people that paid for, because I'm not paying for that, actual people that paid for it went onto the website, actually showing what it actually is, and we might cover that later another stream too. Actually showing it what it is. It's not what it's supposed to be. It's something totally different.
Once
That's
again,
coercion, that's emotional manipulation, that's abuse.
what you found are clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should be.
Your website, your words.
It's on my website.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Check my website. Next.
It's the website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken
No
down.
website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comment.
All right now. Okay. The website hasn't been taken down. You know, people can actually pull up stuff that you can. Nothing's permanently deleted. Nothing's permanently deleted. Just saying.
On this website, on the original website, have been taken down, and I wonder.
What you're trying to say is you're accusing me. You're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of, and I'm emotionally manipulating.
I'm saying that you have said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain,
No, absolutely not.
and I'm asking you about that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name. I look forward to the BBC and the legacy media having to say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels of investigation and prodding into my life, is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done mine, you would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just
Thousands of women have
allegations
come out in my
and
defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned that. Thousands of women come out in my defense.
I didn't see thousands. I'm gonna be 100. He went from 2,000 for people being called against him to now it's 1,000. I haven't seen 1,000 women, and I haven't seen them. I've seen the 3 that worked for him. That's actually in the news and article. That's tattooed and branded with his name and symbol on them. I've seen those. The police officer, another woman and this is somebody that's actually free, is a former corrections officer, and she had like multiple kids. She wasn't making enough money. She got involved with the Tate industry for the webcam girls, left out, became a webcam girl, making buku money. Tate got arrested. Now she's screaming, "Hey, Tate's a nice guy." Okay.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes.
Okay,
And emotional
but
manipulation.
let's agree that
That's
thousands
the
of women.
problem.
Let's agree that
It's not the
thousands.
problem that some people say you haven't done it. It's a problem that some people say you have.
Thousands of women come out in my defense, and as we stand right now, we have an open criminal investigation. People who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying that we're not victims of anything. Andrew's fine, he's never hurt us. You're saying, no, I have the opposite to that. I have to counter that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name.
The women that works for you. The women that works for you. And then the first girlfriend that was literally your bottom B. That doesn't hold water.
We've invented She's not accusing you of anything criminal. So I don't see the whole point
You
you're trying to
say
make
you
here.
manipulate women. They say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website and the testimony
No,
women have given
you've
about
printed
you.
something off that you found on Reddit, and you're going to sit here and say that makes me a bad person. I'm saying that you should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism. Let's investigate the fact that
I
thousands.
think you should answer my questions
I am.
properly.
I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start an argument.
It's not only about the criminal allegations. It's a much bigger issue. You've got children's organisations in the UK. You've got rape organisations in the UK. You've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and on women in the UK and elsewhere because of the things you say, because of the way you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person. I believe my impact on the world is positive. In fact, if you were to read the comment section of nearly any video I post, especially by the legacy media, 95% of the population agree with me. Most people know that the things I say are positive. Legacy media as a whole has lost all its credibility in the last 3 to 4 years. Nobody believes it. And it's a shame. It's a massive shame that the BBC come here and try and push and purport this idea that I'm a dangerous person.
I'm
anti-drugs. I've never pushed drugs or any. I'm anti-drugs. I'm anti-violence. The UK is facing a knife crime epidemic, and they're going to sit here and say that I'm the most dangerous man in the UK.
You have said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male.
I ain't gonna lie, she did her homework because these are literally quotes by him. If it's not on the media, if it's on his website, it's somewhere else. Look at his face like, yeah. Yeah, look at that face. I want to say so bad. I'm gonna keep that for another day. I'm gonna keep that for another day. Just to look at his face right there. That's priceless.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's. When did I say that?
I'm asking if you believe it.
No, you said you're the most dangerous man in the world. Is that some kind of proof that I'm dangerous? Am I Dr. Evil now? I'm telling you that it's very upsetting that you're going to sit here and that certain organizations in the world are going to try and pretend that I'm the biggest force of evil on earth when I'm genuinely a force for good. I'm genuinely a force for good. And the reason they're doing this is because of the massive influence I have over the youth. And they don't like that I'm telling the youth to think outside of the matrix and ignore things like the BBC, which come here with loaded questions and false narratives and try and paint innocent people as guilty.
You've said women's intimate parts belong to their male parts.
I said that if a woman marries a man, she takes his last name and traditionally the man gives her away. I've been pushing traditional religious beliefs because I'm a religious man and traditional beliefs in regards to marriage, which everybody accepted 10 to 15 years ago.
So
that's not a crazy conspiracy theory. If you're going to sit here and say that me believing a woman should take a man's last name in marriage makes me the most dangerous man in the world, then you're just going to lose even more credibility than the BBC's already lost in the last 4 to 5 years. If that's your point, if that's your narrative you want to push,
say that
good
men
luck.
should be able to sleep with a lot of women outside marriage. That doesn't sound very religious.
That's not what I said they should be able to. I said a lot of high-value men, a lot of rich men do it. And then we discussed at length on podcasts why rich men do it. And we also discussed why women decide to be unfaithful. It's not a gendered argument. We discussed unfaithfulness as a whole. What are the reasons and motivations for men? And what are the reasons and motivations for women? Because you have no time to actually, watch my content, because you have no time to actually watch my content at length and understand what I'm saying, you just come here with a small snippet which we provided to you on a piece of paper.
3 times doesn't make it true.
No, completely. You don't have a clue what I say or what I talk about. You never watch my content. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable.
You said that, not me.
Okay. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your questions.
Well, then we need to change the dynamic of this interview because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. You do not come here with a position of authority over me. We are equals. We are people. We're citizens of the world, and we sit here as equals. And I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't have to answer my questions is disingenuous because I don't owe you anything.
Asking questions and you answer.
But I don't owe
however you want.
This is a conversation, and I don't owe you any degree of authority over me. So let's make that clear. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or from the BBC or the CNN. I'm here to answer your questions and be honest with you and do you a favor.
Correct.
And I'm doing you a favor. But you come here with loaded questions. You're trying to paint a narrative of me which is negative.
I'm asking you
And
about
that's
things
fine.
you've said that people are concerned about.
And that's fine.
You
But you're
have
not
said
going to sit
a
here and say you
woman's-
don't answer my questions because you're not above me.
This is also not supposed to be a third degree, it's supposed to be a conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, it would help if you answered the question.
I've answered every question so far.
Let me ask another question.
Sure.
You have said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner, and if she goes on OnlyFans, he is entitled to a cut of her income.
You are extremely, it's very confusing to me why you're going to sit here, take long format podcasts I've done, which are 3 or 4 hours long, in context where I've sat with OnlyFans girls, 10 or 15 OnlyFans girls, where we've been joking back and forth, ignore every comment and satirical comment and sarcastic comment that the females have made, and then come along and say, you said this, and that, and you're the most evil man in the world. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm
Did you
is.
say it?
I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what context is. I don't know if you understand what satirical
So you're saying it was sarcastic?
I'm saying it was a very interesting talk show. And for you to sit here and say that that is my true core beliefs and that makes me a bad person is disingenuous.
Is it?
Of course not.
Was it sarcasm?
Absolutely. You should watch the show.
You were being sarcastic
You should-
when you said, let me
you
just
should-
clarify.
You should
okay?
watch the show.
Let me clarify for the audience. You were being sarcastic when you said a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner.
No.
You didn't believe that.
No, it's not that. It's that you haven't watched the show at length, and you should have, because the woman was saying, my man's car belongs to me because he's my man. And she was on OnlyFans. And then 20 minutes later, when she said she was on OnlyFans, I said, well, you're selling your body, that belongs to him because he's your man. And she laughed,
You didn't believe it.
she laughed, and she said, ha ha, ha, yeah, that's probably true.
I'm back. Appreciate that, Wally. Yes, I don't like StreamYard. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like StreamYard. I do not like StreamYard. I am so going to OBS once I master it, but I am be on Prism when I'm doing the solo interview, the solo reactions lives. So I be doing them. Yeah, I'm so trying to weed off of StreamYard. You just don't know. StreamYard got so glitchy. I might go ahead and try Restream, Wally, because I know you promoted it a lot and we had a good conversation about it. And the other one I think we talked about before. So yeah, StreamYard is bad. it got its good qualities. It's very easy. Yeah.
Some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should be.
Your website, your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website. Next.
This website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken down.
No website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments on this website, on the original website, have been taken down, and I wonder why.
You are accusing me. I'm guessing what you're trying to say is you're accusing me. You're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of, and I'm emotionally manipulating.
I'm saying that you have said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain.
No, absolutely not.
And I'm asking you about that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name. I look forward to the BBC and the legacy media having to say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels of investigation and prodding into my life, is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done.
Yeah, but even P. Diddy said it. More money, more problems. P. Diddy said it. More money, more problems. If you got a business, a successful one, everybody's poking and prodding. But guess what? If you're squeaky clean, you got nothing to worry about. If you're squeaky clean, you have nothing to worry about. Shout out to Brett. Brett says it's very says from my phone. I like my navigate away while streaming and go look somewhere something up or pop to YouTube chat and come back in. Yeah, I think that's what should just be used for right now. And I don't want to play it out because we got so much stuff going on with the technology with StreamYard, and I'm not trying to derail the conversation, but just because whatever happens, StreamYard, if you're and this is me personally, if you're starting to do just regular content, get you a great PC. I prefer a gaming PC. Anything $500, and then after that, great internet connection. And then start StreamYard. But after that, slowly start understanding and looking around everything else, right? So, but if you're trying to keep StreamYard, you got to pick and choose what things to do, and that's how we're learning right now. But if you want to do everything on StreamYard isn't it. StreamYard is not it. Shout out to E. Good afternoon, E. Congratulations again for our son is graduated and going to serve this great country. And yeah, man, she will be a guest. We will have something scheduled for a topic that she will be a guest here on the panel for the Grey Pill Podcast. So I appreciate you for coming on through. Again, if you're new, definitely hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the all bell notification because YouTube is weird and funny like that. So let's get back into the conversation of Andrew Tate interview with BBC.
You would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just
Thousands of women have come out in my defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned that. Thousands of women come out in my defense.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes.
Okay.
And emotional
Well,
manipulation.
let's agree that
That's
thousands
the
of women.
problem.
Let's agree that
It's
thousands.
not the problem that some people say you haven't done it. It's a problem that some people say you have.
Thousands of women come out in my defense, and as we stand right now, we have open criminal investigation. People who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying we're not victims of anything. Andrew's fine; he's never hurt us. You're saying no. I have the opposite to that. I have the counter that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name, who we've invented, and she's not accusing you.
He's still pushing that.
I don't see the whole point.
You
you're trying to
say
make
you
here.
manipulate women. They say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website and the testimony
No,
women have given
you've
about
printed
you.
something off that you found on Reddit, and you're going to sit here and say that that makes me a bad person. I'm saying that you should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism.
I don't think she said that.
I
don't think she said that.
I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start an argument.
It's not only about the criminal allegations. It's a much bigger issue. You've got children's organisations in the UK. You've got rape organisations in the UK. You've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and on women in the UK and elsewhere because of the things you say, because of the way you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person. I believe my impact on the world is positive. In fact, if you were to read the comment section of nearly any video I post, especially by the legacy media, 95% of the population agree with me. Most people know that the things I say are positive. Legacy media as a whole has lost all its credibility in the last 3 to 4 years. Nobody believes it. And it's a shame. It's a massive shame that the BBC come here and try and push and purport this idea that I'm a dangerous person. I'm anti-drugs. I've never pushed drugs or any. I'm anti-drugs. I'm anti-violence. The UK is facing a knife crime epidemic, and they're going to sit here and say that I'm the most dangerous man in the UK.
You have said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's. When did I say that?
I'm asking if you believe it.
No, you said you're the most dangerous man in the world. Is that some kind of proof that I'm dangerous? Am I Dr. Evil now? I'm telling you that it's very upsetting that you're going to sit here and that certain organizations in the world are going to try and pretend that I'm the biggest force of evil on earth when I'm genuinely a force for good. I'm genuinely a force for good. And the reason they're doing this is because of the massive influence I have over the youth. And they don't like that I'm telling the youth to think outside of the matrix and ignore things like the BBC, which come here with loaded questions and false narratives and try and paint innocent people as guilty.
You've said women's intimate parts belong to their male partner.
I said that if a woman marries a man, she takes his last name and traditionally the man gives her away. I've been pushing traditional religious beliefs because I'm a religious man and traditional beliefs in regards to marriage, which everybody accepted 10 to 15 years.
I'm curious how long he's been claiming to this religion. I'm very curious about that one.
Years ago.
So
that's not a crazy conspiracy theory. If you're going to sit here and say that me believing a woman should take a man's last name in marriage makes me the most dangerous man in the world, then you're just going to lose even more credibility than the BBC's already lost in the last 4 to 5 years. If that's your point, if that's your narrative you want to push,
say that
good
men
luck.
should be able to sleep with a lot of women outside marriage. That doesn't sound very religious. Or
That's not what I said they should be able to. I said a lot of high-value men, a lot of rich men do it. And then we discussed at length on podcasts why rich men do it. And we also discussed why women decide to be unfaithful. Gendered argument. We discussed unfaithfulness as a whole. What are the reasons and motivations for men and what are the reasons and motivations for women? Because you have no time to actually watch my content. Because you have no time to actually watch my content at length and understand what I'm saying. You just come here with a small snippet which we provided to you on a piece of paper. You don't have to know what I say or what I talk about. You never watch my content. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable.
You said that, not me.
Okay. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your questions.
Well, then we need to change the dynamic of this interview because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. You do not come here with a position of authority over me. We are equals. We are people.
You're not equals. You're not equals.
And I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't answer my questions is disingenuous because I don't owe you anything.
Asking questions and you answer.
But I don't owe
however you want.
This is a conversation, and I don't owe you any degree of authority over me. So let's make that clear. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or from the BBC or the CNN. I'm here to answer your questions and be honest with you and do you a favor.
Great.
And I'm doing you a favor. When you come here with loaded questions, you're trying to paint a narrative of me which is negative.
I'm asking you
and
about
that's
things
fine.
you said that people are concerned about.
And that's fine. But you're not going to sit here and you don't answer my questions because you're not above me.
This is also not supposed to be a third degree, it's supposed to be a conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, it's helping with the question.
I've answered every question.
Yeah, but it's a one-sided conversation. I mean, she's doing what she's supposed to do. She's an interviewer. You know, he's you know, and this is my opinion. He's doing it like we're regular YouTubers, you know, like we're regular folks. This is her job. This is the experience she's been doing for so long. This is a one-sided thing at this point. I allowed you in my house. We are equals. We are this. This is one-sided.
Question so far?
Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
You have said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner, and if she goes on OnlyFans, he is entitled to a cut of her income.
You are extremely, it's very confusing to me why you're going to sit here, take long format podcasts I've done, which are 3 or 4 hours long, in context where I've sat with OnlyFans girls, 10 or 15 OnlyFans girls, where we've been joking back and forth, ignore every comment and satirical comment and sarcastic comment that the females have made, and then come along and say, you said this and that, and you're the most evil man in the world. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what context is. I don't know if you understand what satirical content.
So you're saying it's sarcastic?
I'm saying it was a very interesting talk show. And for you to sit here and say that that is my true core beliefs and that makes me a bad person is just.
Yeah, but see, it's like a one-time gimmick, right? And I had this conversation, or I guess a disagreement, or whatever you want to call it, on a podcast where this certain podcaster make jokes a lot all the time. But I've been on this person's podcast 9, 12, 15, 16 times, but never once that display of joking ever came my way until, I guess you could say, the 16th time, which was one time for me at that moment was too many for me, right? So my response was, I don't joke like that. So now let's frame this as influencers, because anytime if you're doing a live stream or you putting something out in the media, you are an influencer. That's number one. So somebody in his level of influence, why would you not be careful of what the stuff you say? So again, I get it. On another side of it, it's like, hey, I want to get the engagement value. I want to get the shock value of things. Okay, great. Let's just say, hey, I do this to women. Okay, shock value. But I will add some conversation with that, why I did that, why I said it, to make a point. That makes a little bit more difference to me. Now, for him, he keeps saying there's one video. This is what the one podcast. I keep hearing him directing about this one. Oh, you saw this one time. This one. No. Multiple streams, multiple videos, multiple podcasts, even on Hustle University, things was said consistently to raise red flags among the charges. That's with you. Among the charges. So if I do something one time, I make a mistake, I learn from my mistake. I try not to repeat it again. I try not to show them same actions again. I moved on, right? I turned that page. But if I'm coming on, especially in media, even around your friends, if you're skipping a beat, and see, I just said something, right? Skipping a beat. Everybody don't understand that. But if I'm skipping a beat on something I claimed that was a mistake I didn't do, then I come back later every other week, every other month, every other moment, people around you are going to start to notice the consistent behavior that you have. Then they're going to reflect on you. Now, the fact that you are an influencer, it reflects very heavily. That is a problem, because right now, the world that we live in, shout out to media, we have, because he keeps saying kids, children's, kids, his words. So with that being said, we understand today with media, the kids now 23 and under is very, very impressionable. They call it a smartphone, but it's making people dumb. The media is making a lot of people dumb, especially a lot of parents. When you get off of this live right now, when you walk out the house, go and see how many people, adults, is on their phone looking down, have their phone in their hand as they're walking. Then look at the parents or the guardians that has their kids with phones, because that's the only distraction they can give them. Not talk to them, not communicate with them, just that. Then count how many times the parents or guardians will literally just hand them their own personal phone or device just to shut the kid up, just to give that moment of distraction. So It is a very dangerous thing that you have people in a toxic environment that get in so much big influence like they are in media. So yes, be careful what you say because somebody's always watching. I will give you a pass if it was like that one time, shock value. But if you gotta add some context to it, the meaning behind it, why you say it, why you do it. But if you come up with the same consistent patterns of behavior and saying the same thing you're saying, it's a no-no. You built a character about yourself that people are going to point the finger and say you're not. It doesn't seem right.
Disingenuous.
Is it?
Of course not.
Was it sarcasm?
Absolutely. You should watch the show.
You were being sarcastic
You should-
when you said. Let me just clarify.
You should
okay?
watch the show.
Let me clarify for the audience. You were being sarcastic when you said a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner.
No.
You didn't believe that.
No, it's not that. It's that you haven't watched the show at length, and you should have, because the woman was saying, my man's car belongs to me because he's my man. And she was on OnlyFans. And then 20 minutes later, when she said she was on OnlyFans, I said, well, you're selling your body, that belongs to him because he's your man. And she laughed. She laughed, and she said, yeah, that's probably true. If you watch the show, it will make sense. For you to come here with doing no research at all and then say, I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper with a few things printed off. That's why you're saying the silly things you're saying. You should watch the show, do some research.
Do you believe it?
I've already answered the question.
Not really.
Of course I have. Can we move on? I've answered the question.
Do you believe that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner?
Of course not. I've just answered the question.
You think so? you think he handling the? You know what? How much time I got this video? You know what? Chat, y'all let me know. Yes. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. I got some time, so we'll give like 10 more minutes of the interview, and y'all let me know if y'all want me to drop the link so you give your perspective on this, because usually I was kind of picking and choosing about this, but it's all good. So, but that's a good one. He says Andrew handled that interview very well. The top G handled that interview very well. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all let me know if y'all want me to drop the link so it could be a conversation. I'm not gonna have everybody up like rah, but let me know because I think I got like 30 minutes. I do have a life, and we can have the conversation. So, if Knowledge in a Relationship are representative of who made the claim that Andrew Tate handled that interview very well, we can have that conversation real quick. If any ladies that have a difference of opinion or just a perspective on a video and feel like they want to come up and give their perspective of it, cool, you're more than welcome. So I will drop the link in like 2 minutes.
And does this woman believe in our? It's not a jargon. I think genuinely sad that when the BBC has a chance to finally interview me at the end of all this Matrix attack, that they don't come here with any kind of genuine openness to try and understand my influence over the world or the things I push or what I'm trying to teach the world or why I'm a good influence on the world because I am a massively good influence. Instead, they come here with pieces of paper with printed out excerpts from 5-year-old podcasts, taken out of context, to attempt the same Matrix attack on me, which has been attempted endlessly. Every single person in legacy media has already tried this, and it doesn't work. I really encourage you. I encourage you to read the comment section on YouTube when this goes on YouTube, and you will see that nobody believes a word you're saying.
The reason we're asking you about these comments is because we've got the chief executive of Rape Crisis naming you individually as spreading a dangerous ideology of misogynistic rape culture.
Absolute.
It's the comments you make that are leading people to say things like
absolute garbage.
National organizations who are saying that, blaming you for increasing levels of misogyny, schools that are saying they are having increased incidents of girls being harassed.
If that was
by
true,
pupils,
if that
because of you and your teaching,
well, that's absolute garbage. I have never ever encouraged a student to attack a teacher, male or female, ever. I preach hard work, discipline. I'm an athlete. I preach anti-drug. I preach religion. I preach no alcohol. I preach no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against. I'm teaching young men to be disciplined, to be diligent, to listen, to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me, with no criminal record, never even yet charged in this 14-month Matrix investigation. And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking and diligent and emotional control and stoic, we're going to have a better society, not a worse society. To sit here and say that schools in England, which is a failing nation, which has knife crime going through the roof, violence going through the roof, men's mental health going through the roof, and they're going to all blame me because I appeared on the internet 1 year ago, is disingenuous. It's disingenuous. And also,
financial success
correct.
With a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Because it's all mixed together in what you teach. You teach that a woman, if a woman comes home and accuses you of cheating, you should hit her with a machete, shove her off.
Is that what I teach?
That's what you say.
No, if you actually watch the clip, it will be about the woman attacking me with a machete. As usual, you've not watched the video, taken it out of context, flipped it, and attempted to attack me with a small excerpt. Let me tell you something, Lucy. I'm sure you're a very nice person. I'm sure you're a fantastic person. But if I were to take everything you've ever said online and just take small excerpts out of context, I could make you look like a misogynist. I guarantee it. In fact, I might actually do that. And then you're going to sit here and say, oh shit, I'm a misogynist because my clips have been taken out of context. If you refuse to watch anything at length and understand it, then that's what's going to happen.
The National Police Chiefs League for Violence Against Women, the NSPCC, Rape Crisis, Safer Schools, they are all naming you as being behind an epidemic of misogyny, even amongst primary school children.
The idea that I made primary school children misogynistic because I own a nice car. Is that your argument?
It's the misogyny that comes along with it.
Oh, owning a nice car is misogynist.
No, it's the misogyny that comes along with it.
How does misogyny come along with owning a nice car?
Because you have an image of financial
I'm glad you're answering my questions now. We finally got the dynamic.
You have an image of financial
answer my
success.
questions, actually should.
Excuse me. You have an image of financial success, but it comes along with attitudes towards women that are really problematic.
My attitudes towards women is that women should be protected and provided for, and I've said that at length. In fact, I've said that over 50 times online. You never mention it. I say that my girlfriend doesn't have to work unless she wants to. I take care of her. I die to protect the woman. I've talked about how I've stood up and faced a knife to protect a woman.
And in return, you want authority over her in the way you have over a child or a dog.
Absolutely not. I've said that women should be protected and provided for. And
in return, you want authority over her, because if you have responsibility for someone like a child or a dog, you say, you have authority over them.
If you want to go down this argument, we'll go down this nuanced argument. I said that if I have responsibility for her safety, I should have a degree of authority over her safety. Meaning, and let me explain my point. If I'm the one who has to fight and die to protect her, I'm the one who decides how we walk home. I'm the one who decides the route we take. Because it's unfair for her to say, I want to walk through the most dangerous neighborhood in the world, but you have to face the knives. That's what I've said. And then you're going to sit here and pretend that I'm trying to treat women like dogs, which is garbage. Every single man in the world who loves his woman understands that he has to protect her. And every single woman in the world likes the idea of a man who would protect her. If you were to say to most women home right now, do you want your husband to protect you in a violent attack? They'd say, yeah, of course. Nothing I've said is misogynistic.
If you said to most women, would you want to lose authority in the relationship, to not be treated as a free and legal equal to your husband?
I didn't say that. I said I need to have authority over the route we walk home.
When you compare women and the authority over women that you believe you should have to having authority over a child or a dog, it's not the same, because a woman is a free, legal adult.
Correct.
You're equal.
Free, legal adult, my equal. But if I had a girlfriend and we were walking home late at night, and I said, let's not walk down that area. It's a bad area. I have to protect you if anything happens. I want to take the long way. And she said, no, I will. I have to walk this way, even though it's the most dangerous route. I must.
Then what?
Then I would say, you're welcome to. You could do it. You're a free and legal equal. But I'm not going to walk with you and protect you. I think that I should be able to decide the route, because I have an obligation. And my obligation as a man is to protect and provide for females. Everything I'm talking about is traditional gender roles, which 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago, would not be considered outlandish, would not be considered crazy, would not be considered dangerous or misogynistic. The world has changed, and a lot of people haven't changed with the world. Please understand, there's a lot of women at home watching this right now who like the idea of a man sticking up for them, protecting them, and providing for them. And just because the world has gone crazy and the legacy media has gone crazy, most people at home are still relatively sane. And these are the people who are going to write on the comments that Andrew isn't saying anything that's wrong. This isn't like, it's the whole world believes these things.
I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know why you're doing this. I told you. Same as why I told you. They come in, they smile, they shake their hands, and then they read one line excerpt from Black Girl.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's his brother coaching him. If y'all can hear a male talking, that's his brother. All right, we have a guest in the back. Let me know when you're ready, man, because I ain't gonna lie, I haven't been on I haven't took you're good. I haven't took a cruise in a while, and the waters, so the camera like all over the place. But yeah, so the question was asked. The link is here, so we'll give it like 20 minutes for if you want to hit the link and have the conversation. It was a good claim. Do you think Andrew Tate handled the interview well with BBC? So we have somebody coming up. So shout out to M3. Appreciate you, sir. Your audio is Kaka. I think you muted.
Yeah. All right, I'm muted. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, Grey Pill?
What's going on, man? So did you see the interview? Did you see the interview in full?
I always saw like at least 75% of it.
The first 75 or the ending 75% of it? So
I didn't get a chance to see the ending, right? Okay. But I'm just only going to narrow down the points, right, that I did notice. And Andrew Tate do have a good team, or I guess the lady in the background is his lawyer, from what I heard. And I feel like he handled it pretty well, because the thing was, as what he was saying before, the agreement was supposed to be having like an interview with him about the interrogation. But of course,
where you saw the interrogation at? What part you saw the? Because remind you said you saw the 75% of the ending, right?
Yeah. No. I said I saw 75% of it. I said I only missed the ending part. That's why I kind of took away the 25%. Okay. But the thing was, like, what I noticed was like, okay, the lady kept on talking about all these allegations, but she didn't really provide like, clear like facts and details.
She didn't.
Honestly, if I were her and she had like a good like, point, she should have like, show, well, I probably can't really show certain clips, but I would have put up like, like sources, like websites, or different things that, that you saw in timestamps that he said on certain occasions that actually will back up her point. But the reason why I'm saying that he handled it kind of well, because like, he didn't get like into, I mean, I know he was kind of bothered, but he was trying his best not to like really get into the feelings and really try to stay on the point of subject. There was a few points that he pointed out was like, hey, like, you're in my house. Okay. I'm actually doing you guys like a service, which that is true. So you can't just come into my territory and say like, well, I don't have to answer any of your questions, but then yet be demanding and expect someone to like answer hers. So the way that he had his posture, the way that he talked to her, he didn't cuss her out, he didn't belittle her, but he just made it clear that, hey, look, if you're going to interview me, you need to play by my own rules. I'll be respectful and treat you as an equal, but you're not going to come up here, treat me like I'm any less, and I'm going to treat you like you're any less. So, most people, probably would have been crying about it, probably would have got highly upset, but he just made sure that, and I think that's what men should really be doing when you're in these high pressure type of situations. Some people will say, well, he should have never did that interview with BBC, but I think that's a learning experience for anyone. So when you're under pressure, you have to know like how to be really quick about it and how to redirect these type of conversations that you're having when people are trying to paint like this negative picture on you. Now, I'm not saying that, the dude is 100% innocent, because he is at that predicament right now because of the things that he have done. But at the same time, certain allegations, I mean, you have to really try to nip that in the bud and put that person in check.
Okay. You said a lot. So let's go with the one you said, under pressure of the interview. Now, you are aware of what interview that he's having and the charges that's held against him, correct?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go over the three charges. So the one charge is rape, the second one is tax evasion, and the last one is X trafficking. Okay, so if you are being held on those type of charges, do you think it'd be a incumbent of you or your lawyer to say, hey, let's go. You just got released. It's less than 30 days. The ending of this month is when they're going to make a decision to take you to trial or not. But it's okay for you, M3, to go on a interview with a high profiled station like BBC and have an interview. Do you think that's okay to do? Would you think your lawyer would recommend you to do that?
Well, I don't know why his lawyer recommended him for.
Yeah,
to
we're
do
worried about
that,
him. We're
but
worried about you right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Now, hold on. Let me ask the question. So, for me personally, like, I wouldn't be talking to anyone, especially if I'm on trial.
Okay, so
But,
now let's get, okay, we got that away. Now, what about the lawyer? So, would you think your lawyer, heck, even a public defender, you think a public defender will recommend you, M3, to go on an interview when you got less than 30 days for them to make a decision where they're going to either drop your case or to continue with the trial? Do you think your lawyer will recommend that for you? If you personally say no, do you think that will be recommended of you?
I don't think any lawyer should recommend anyone, like I said, to put themselves out there knowing, right, that people are going to try to crucify you. They're going to try to prosecute. It's like you're setting yourself up.
Okay, so okay, so
I
with
just want to know. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got those two. I just want to get those two questions out of the way. So with that being said, so if you go on an interview, do you feel like you're pretty much putting yourself in a worse situation knowing that you got charges against you? Let's just say BBC.
I'll give you the answer. Of course, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So now, all right, moving on from there, you said the question was asked, do you feel like he handled the interview well? The first one, you said he gave clear facts and details, and you think that you think that BBC should have brought in the clear facts and details, like websites or timestamps, right? That's what you said?
Yes, I'm only talking from a reactive perspective.
Okay.
I mean, if I went to proactive, then of course, as I just gave you the answers, I won't even be there in a situation. But the reactive part is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, and I'm only looking at it from both sides.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I was the way, go ahead.
Yeah. So okay. So with that being said, you said, hey, reactive, not reactive, but you're looking on both sides. But you did say, hey, BBC should have came up with clear facts, some details, some timestamps. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't know. Now you also said in the beginning of the video, you said you saw 75% at the beginning. From the very beginning, because this is a 38 minute conversation they was having between the two. The first 5 minutes she gave from him verbatim, his website quoted him. So did Destiny. That's pretty much the same. Whatever she repeated is pretty much what Destiny repeated. She got the information from his website, his words, and she quoted him from his words via a previous video that I showed of his webcam video to tell men how to get the women. So she quoted him. So that's one right there of the facts and details and his website. Okay, so now the second one, you said you're in the house. Something about you're in the house and doing guys a service because you're in my house. So it's a difference between if I'm coming to your house, we're not YouTubers, we're casual friends, buddies, family. If I come to your house, I don't consider us equals. It's your house. You pay the bills. If your wife or significant other feels some kind of way about me, you're gonna feel some kind of way about me on the strength of how your wife feels, right? So 9 to 10 times, I'm not gonna be welcome in the house. I'm not an equal. Anybody that's in your house, I just can't walk in your house and grab your fridge and grab the juice. That's not permitted. So now with this case right here that you said, hey, my house and his terms of services is a interview. I'm sure everybody asked him, hey, do you want to do this? But he picked BBC. Before it was Vice, and we know Vice was like, he was just using them as a shitting gimmick and to joke around with them, whatever, and that's fine. But it still was an interview. You have no choice but to come in his house. He can't come outside his house and goes to a mutual place because that's not prohibited of the law within the place that he chose, which is Romania. So they're not equals. No.
With
And
that
then the
part, I
last
will
one,
agree to you on that one, but
Mhm.
I'm only just quoting from what he's saying because right now, when
Oh,
and
you
like I
going by
said,
his?
he put
Okay,
himself in that situation, but
yes.
the way how he's trying to navigate, I'm only just looking at the part that okay, even though he gave her like that spiel that hey, yo, we're equals, just you and I. Like if you come to, because everybody will say something different, like my house is your house or whatever, which is that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, but it's not his
But
house.
he just using that as a way to say like, hey, look, let's mutually just have respect for one another. Again, I'm only speaking from a reactive perspective.
And
Okay.
you also quoted him 3 times. So you said you're going by his words. So we're worried about your words. At the Great Pill Podcast, we're about free thinking. I get
Okay.
if you're quoting him, but if you're trying to steer the narrative of a different means, like, oh well, my house, this what is cool, and that's great. But understand, this is actually an interview, which we just went over over the 3 charges. Great, a very serious crime, and we both know, especially just on the men of the stigma, if it's not true.
Mhm.
If a woman come out her mouth and lie on a man, oh, he touched me the wrong way, he did this wrong way, and the brother or whoever is like 5 blocks away, somebody would just believe it on just cuz. Now he got the next charge, tax evasion, a very serious charge. He got a business. Keep your nose clean, you won't have these problems. He said it multiple times on his own streams or multiple panels. He boasting and bragging. I went to this other country. I got multiple passports if I want to leave. That rings too many red flags for me. And that's me. Then you got the X trafficking. That's another one. So he cannot go nowhere. He's in his house. So there's no wiggle room to have that conversation like, oh, well, he means my house, meaning this. No. We're not on equal terms. No. And it even make it so even more further, since he's talking about his religion, anything else. You are a man. This is his word. You are a man. She is a woman. So we're not equal on that. If we're trying to play the baseline of it, I am an interviewer. You are the interviewee. I'm here to interview you. Now the last one you said. Now the last one when you was adding to everything else, and you said, "Hey, about under pressure and everything else." So this is my problem with a lot of people, and I'll throw R. Kelly out there for example, because we've seen how R. Kelly acted his last interview with Gail. Right, that was a lot of pressure for him. So what would you think? And I'll ask this question. I go in response to what you said. If you felt you went on an interview with somebody, what would be the main thing you could have done if you felt so much under pressure?
What would have been the main thing I would have done? You talking about at the moment, you talking about from reactor's perspective, right? If I'm having all those charges like R. Kelly, i.e. or whatever, oh man, that would be like a tough one, right? Because in R. Kelly's case, like how could you really get out of it? Which that's why I'm trying not to go back to the proactive perspective. Reactively, I will literally have to like point out this is how I would point out, okay? And like I said, this is just an example, everybody, right? Allegedly, okay? If I was in his position, right, there's not going to be a strong argument, okay? But I think the only way how maybe I could probably articulate it is that, hey, look, parents gave me consent for their children or whatever to work with me. I didn't do nothing wrong to them. But see, that's the thing, right? I can't really fathom or even articulate that Grey Pill, right? Because I wouldn't even be in that type of position. And that actually reverts back into something that's proactively because, as I said before, I just want to put myself in a situation that I can't really get myself out of.
Okay.
So the R. Kelly one is way harder. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
It's way harder. I mean, I think Top G got more charges than R. Kelly. Only difference is R. Kelly was getting away with it for 20 years. Top G just in it for a year now.
I don't know about that, right? Okay, but here's the thing, right? So all the allegations or whatever, right? Wasn't most of the allegations like, okay, as far as with the women, he has cameras and stuff. he had allegations before, way before that, where a woman called her boyfriend and said like, "Oh, I'm being great," and then the Romanian police came in and come to find out the woman was just fine. She was just getting herself out of the situation because she didn't want to get in trouble with her boyfriend, and they did prove that to be false. I'm just saying. With Andrew Tate's case,
All right,
I don't know if R.
all right,
Kelly had any cameras in his house or whatever.
I
but
feel like you're moving the goalposts a little bit.
I know,
So
no, I'm not moving the goalposts because
the
see
question- the
what
question
I'm
was
looking
that-
at is like this.
yeah, but the question
I'm
was
not
asked
Andrew
if you
Tate
are-
and
the
I'm not
question-
R. Kelly, right? So some of the things I cannot really relate to.
I'm glad you said that. I'm
Yeah.
not R. Kelly because I'm not Andrew Tate. I'm not R. Kelly, but yet we on live speaking about it, right? So
Yeah.
again,
And I'm only just tell you from a reactive perspective from what I've seen from 75% or maybe less now, but at least 75%
no, we'll
of
keep
the
it on.
video that I watched.
No, sir. We'll keep it on the beginning. We'll keep it on the frame
Okay.
of what you said in the beginning. So again, but you said because you mentioned pressure. So I'm asking you again.
Mhm.
If you got that type of pressure, according to you, from BBC or just any interviewer, how would you handle it? You said, "Hey, I will say this," and that would be it. Correct?
Yeah, but you jumped
Okay.
from Andrew Tate to R. Kelly.
I know.
R.
I was giving
situation-
an
Yeah.
example of
I
pressure.
get
Because
you.
the extreme pressure was when R. Kelly did what he did in reacting. According to you, the reaction part was that's how he was. Andrew Tate, from you, I didn't see any pressure. According to you, you said, "Hey, that's a lot of pressure." So I'm asking you, how would you handle it? So according to you, you said, "Hey, the way you handle it, will articulate it this way and move on." Correct?
You talking about with Andrew Tate, right?
Yes, you said I will articulate
Yes,
and move
and I
on.
didn't say it was a lot of pressure. I just said pressure. Pressure's still pressure, no matter what
All right,
level it is.
we're not gonna do semantics of pressure. I'm saying pressure. I'm with you the whole way of
Yeah,
pressure.
okay, yeah,
The
yeah.
whole way. But now let
Mhm.
me give you the most easiest answer. This is for everybody. The easiest
Okay.
answer. If you're under scrutiny and pressure in an interview that you accepted to, you can pull the plug and walk away. I would even give you your example too. Hey, articulate it this way. According to you, you said he said it 3 times, right? Hey, I answered that question already. She comes back. I answered that question already. You know what? This is not working out. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I feel under pressure or have you. This interview is not going nowhere. Thank you. God bless. I'd have pulled the plug and calmed down. That is how you handle it. And this is funny to me because I'm not an interviewer. I don't have
Yeah.
the experiences of this, but how do I understand this? But Andrew Tate does it. How do I understand it? But according to you, you saw the first 75% of the interview, but you mentioned pressure. You mentioned that he handled the conversation well with an interview. But if he handled the conversation well in the interview, but yet he's under pressure. He's Andrew Tate. He's a top G. He know what he's doing. He got Bugattis.
Look, I get that would have been like the
Haram!
easy way to exit,
Haram!
under that. Yeah, around whatever, right? but my thing is this though. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Grey Pill.
Sure.
If he did end the interview earlier, right? Okay, how would that actually would have looked from a viewer's perspective? Would have been a sign of maybe a mission of type of guilt that you're running away from? Because people think differently. If he had abruptly just left and say, you know what, I don't like how this is going. We're going to end the interview right now. It's going to be the talk of the headlines. People want to say, "Oh, Andrew Tate is running away from the truth." And I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you really think that would have been the best solution to pretty much, cam off or whatever and just bounce and just tell the person get out? Okay. If you were in that situation where you had those type of allegations and you felt like the right thing to do is pretty much end the interview right now because it's not going the way how you want it.
Okay. My response to that, and I said this earlier in the video, and I'm gonna echo this again. And my personal opinion, I think if I'm innocent or guilty, it definitely innocent. And I had 30 days left until they decide to put charges on me or not. I just would never do an interview. I would just never do an interview. I would literally wait after the fact when all the charges clear and do my thing. Now, dealing with Andrew Tate, because this happened when he was locked up for all the months. He had either a family member, which it was stated and noted. He had a cousin, he had a family member, people on the outside that had access to his Twitter and Instagram, all his accounts, was actually doing a lot of conversation for him. That started up a lot of the stuff of saying, hey, Andrew Tate is free. I seen people on other media spaces saying, hey, Andrew Tate's free. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's still locked up. And I felt even sad that I even had to do that type of content just to debunk that, because people is ignorant. People wasn't doing their homework on the basis of it. He's still locked up. There's a Romanian website dictate every little move he makes, literally. So me personally, I would never done an interview. As a kid, I'd done some stupid stuff. I got a ticket. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't go tell my homeboy, because guess what? I'm paying it. I'm guilty. I'm gonna go take care of that ticket and go handle my business.
Okay.
Or if I'm guilty or not, or am I innocent, I'm gonna still go handle my business. What I'm not gonna do is run my mouth to everybody so they can have more opinions of me. It doesn't just make any sense. It doesn't. Now, I will say this in my perspective of it, and I'll let you have your final say, and I'll bring somebody up. I believe that he's doing this now to what I'm feeling to believe that is leaning to the part of guilt. Because every step that Andrew Tate started with was the media, the image of the top G, and everything that he believed in himself. Now, he says a lot of things like, hey, I help a lot of people's lives. And that may be true, but I think it's 0.3% of people that feel the way that he feels. So, but to answer your question short, I would just never done the interview. I would have waited until everything was ended, and then I would have spoke my piece then and let everybody else do it. Because before he came out, even when I did the live, everybody, it was on court. It was a court of public opinion. That's all it was. That's all it was. It was literally in the middle. People believe Tate, fanboys of Tate, all for him. People on the other side of the fence, like myself, hey, I see differently, but I'm gonna be honest. I understand the court, the law. I understand the justice system. Let's see what happens. That was me.
Even with people who don't really understand the justice system, like I said, at least at the bare minimum, I want to even like I said, if I were them or whatever, that was myself, I want to put myself in that type of situation. So yes, I do agree with you.
Okay.
But you still didn't answer my question when I'm asking you about a reactive position. Of course, I know that common sense, right? I mean, as free thinkers, I would think that we will, like you and I would be smart enough not to even further incriminate ourselves, because he did mention that as well too. But that's another story about that, because I don't have to go in a minute. But if you were already in that situation by a poor choice that you already made, by accepting the interview, and she's asking all those questions, how will you react? How will you respond to that? Now, I'm not saying like, okay, without trying to say, well, let me just cancel the interview because it's not going well. If you just wanted to just muster it through, what would be some like the statements that you will reply to her?
Okay, now you give me a second question, because the first question was
no. My question was a reactive question. The same way that you asked me that question, I asked that one, but you went further into being proactive. I didn't ask you that. If I wasn't clear,
okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ask
if I wasn't clear, let me make it clear now. I didn't want to interrupt while you was talking, but I thought it was cute that you mentioned, your proactive stance. But I'm asking you from a reactive stance, okay, without canceling or turning off your camera or leaving the interview. Well, actually, in this case, kicking a woman out, pretty much, because it is your place.
How I would handle that if I'm mustering it through, I'll just have the conversation, answer the best way I can, and muster it through. Matter of fact, beforehand, I'll even give a time limit. 2 hours max, an hour max, because people have their limits. People have their limits. And we've seen it before. Someone sit there, cannot hold their frame for a long time. I've said it many times, especially people on live streams, their personality come out, their mask slips off.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah,
And,
after her
and her as a job, as an interviewer. So me knowing that coming, and I mentioned about a kid as a kid doing the dumbest things. If I'm coming on to trial, or if I'm coming before a judge, or if I'm coming before my mother and my father, that's judge, jury, and execution right there. I need to have all my P's and Q's on lock before I get there. So again, how I muster through is the same way I muster through all the other trials and tribulations coming up as a kid and as a grown adult. If I did it, I need to figure out a way how to have the conversation and steer through. If I didn't do it, I'm good. Because why? Because I'm a whole frame. Yes, no, answer the question the best way I can. And that's it. Now, if it's some legal legalities, because again, we're talking about Top G, Mr. Bugatti. If it's some legal legalities, anything else, I'm gonna watch my words very carefully, or half the stuff I will not even respond to and answer. Why? Because I'm still got court coming in a 30-day period. That's how I will handle it. Mustering that interview through. And two, anytime I feel that a question is difficult or something I can understand, because again, he's human. He is human. He might think differently. His fans might think differently, but it's human. So any question I feel is a little bit different, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm looking to my lawyer. Great Pill, why you doing it? I need to respond to anything my lawyer, so I don't want to. That's what I'm doing. So that's how I muster it through.
And that goes to a point where, you know, this is similar to like Andrew Tate's situation, where you had all these questions, which, like I said, I still apply as pressure, but he answered it very well. And then at certain moments where there was a pause, the lawyer or woman in the background, and I think it was like multiple people that was in the back, but who knows, you know, that even spoke up for him. And I think the best situation, like how you said it, is the way how he handled it. Like I said, I only saw 75% of it, so I don't know how it happened at the end of it.
Hey, 75% is a lot of a whole 100. I think the first 75%, I think you lost. But I definitely appreciate you, man, for coming up and giving
no problem.
I appreciate you.
All right, no problem. Appreciate this conversation. All right, Great Pill. You have a good one.
You too, man.
All right.
All right, let's bring another one up. Appreciate you, Wally, if you can hear me. Appreciate everybody for coming on through. Definitely appreciate Jade information, Brett giving. And now let me say this to Jay. The journalist's job was to bring attention to Nate and make the public even more aware of his crimes. He also kept mentioning Tate's impressions of kids. Exactly. You know what? And that didn't even hit home for me because I don't play with kids. And I never even thought about that. When she brought it up, I said, oh, wow. Wow. But that's what a journalist's job, a real journalist, that's what their job's supposed to do. They're supposed to have conversations with you, interview you, ask the tough questions. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to dig deep. But he kept saying it. Oh, everybody's digging deep. Yeah, you're right. Everybody's digging deep. You're high profile right now. You wanted to be high profile before it came to this level. You want to be. So now, either you got locked up or didn't got locked up. Let's just say he never got locked up. He never came across real interviewers, maybe except for the guy in the UK that interviewed him, and he was playing those certain games. Yeah, he was playing those certain kind of games too. Literally, he was doing the same routine over again, but now it's a little bit differently. You're locked up, you're in closure in your home, and you actually have somebody that's going to have a conversation with you, and you can't really run. You can't really run. You can't do the shake and dance. Now, the real pressure, when he was on the other interview with the other people on media, he was free, right? He can put pressure on other people because he knew the level of influence he had on their show, what he had to bring. Same thing here. This is this is a low level 0.0% of a trillion billion of other channels and content creators of YouTube. But if I ask somebody as a guest to come on, it's only going to be the strength of respect between one another. But they can put the pressure on me to say, you know what? I can leave. So they're going to act irate. They can act the buffoonery. Go on all of my other contents. I have bigger content creators that come on, but guess what? I feel the pressure of, oh my God, if they're going to keep acting disrespectful, but they might leave. They might leave. So I got to pander just a little bit. No, she wasn't falling for that. She was doing her job, which a journalist is supposed to do. Well, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you coming up. So the question was asked, and you can chime in on anything else you want. And I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes for us, and I'm gonna head out. But let me give this for M3. So I think he was a little bit lost and deflecting a little bit. So shout out to M3. That's all I saw. Okay, a lot of pressure. He handled it well. So the question was asked in the chat, and I appreciate you coming out. Do you think Andrew Tate handled the interview well? Yes or no? And then you can chime in or anything else that you think of.
Well, yeah, I mean, what I said in the chat was I plan on viewing it. I saw it, but I didn't. Okay, I didn't see the whole thing, right? Like I seen it as far as I know it happened. But
did you see the beginning, or do you saw the end? Or do you see the middle?
Oh no! I didn't like I said, I didn't see it at all. I know that it happened, but I mean, for you, I seen it. But yeah,
okay.
But as far as from what I seen, as far as from what you reacted to, honestly, it was a waste of time. It was an honest waste of time. He should have just laid low, shut up. If he's going to court, wait until court, and then just work it out through that. Honestly, it's really, you're beating a dead horse trying to even deal with anything, because like it's just more. So there's more information to go off, and it's just more confliction to see who can get you out of your worst image and say, okay, based upon this interview, you feeling a little bit tense. What's going on here? You already throwing yourself under the bus. That's basically what he's doing right now, in my opinion.
Okay. Now, based on the stuff that me and the conversation me and M3 had, so do you believe that BBC was given clear, from what you saw, do you feel that BBC was given clear facts and details to him?
Now, as far as right, because I know she was mentioning certain parts of videos that he was on, or either, even if it's his own or either on other podcasts he was on. So as far as being able to know that he was on certain podcasts is one thing. So that's one clarification, that she did see something, or she has been able to view a certain factor point. Now, as far as quoting word for word verbatim, that is not known for me. But if she's quoting a certain word, guaranteedly enough, yes, some reporters can guaranteedly enough reword it one way or another, or say word for word verbatim, either which way. But I mean, that's neither here nor there, because simple fact is part of the challenging factor, and that's what they're gonna made to do. That's what they are. They're journalists. They're gonna challenge what your perspective is. So depending on how they choose to word it versus how he worded it, either which way how you want to take it.
Fair enough. I think I have two more. So so with that being said, do you feel like Andrew Tate was under pressure dealing with that interview?
Do I believe he was under pressure? Honestly, who do you felt
was controlling more of that frame with that interview or the conversation from what you saw?
More so the woman, more so her. I mean, she had her own point where she was sort of, but at the same notion, more so him, because it's like one, you don't really got to get out of turn with it. It's like, what you said, right? It's like, if you know what you said, just let it be what it is, and let it be so. I mean, at this point, he was really morally tweaking about what she said in reverse to what he was saying, basically, as far as his standpoint of what he said based upon the clip or the overall video. But I mean, I said it in the chat. This is what happens, right? When you're having serious, big if on the serious, when you're having serious conversations, you can't really be stupid enough to say certain things. And and she was very much so pointing out certain factor points of what he was saying, and he didn't like the fact of how she was trying to angle it. But it's like, hey, but you said it right. You possibly said this right. So hey, take it on the head. You got to be careful out here. You can't be just playing cake on words. So
fair enough. So you don't believe that he was really under pressure. You feel like it was just more like an equal playing field with both of them.
I'm not saying he wasn't under pressure, but all I'm saying is you know it comes with the territory.
Correct.
That's all. You just gotta know it comes with the territory. That's all.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, you got to know what's coming to the territory. So I gave an example between him and the R. Kelly situation, because Pressure, I felt like how R. Kelly threw a big hissy fit and, you know, crying and screaming, and, you know, and all that good stuff. So to me, I felt like that's a extreme bit of pressure. So let's just say if you felt some kind of pressure, or you, like you just said, we'll use your word. You said you got to know what's come with the territory. So we'll assume that Andrew Tate knew what was coming with the territory. So how would you handle it if you felt under pressure with the interview?
Okay, if we were doing the interview, I mean, honestly, stay as calm as possible.
Okay, that's one. Okay.
If I mean, the way of course, she was always, of course, answering the question about the whole standpoint of, if I'm not mistaken, about what he has said in a particular situation, and constantly pushing that. I'd have been like, I answered the question. You may not like how I said it or how I answered it, but I answered it. And that's where I'm gonna stand on. I'm gonna go from there.
Fair enough. Sound like a perfect answer.
I'm gonna just, lay it down right there. I answered it. Don't like it. That's my answer. Done deal. Keep it going, because you got to keep moving on to the next one. But at the same notion, other than that, I mean, yeah, definitely. If you're accepting an interview and they're coming to your place, I think you do want to put that in forehands. Like, hey, I'll accept the interview, but I only have an hour or two, so you minimize the time frame of certain questions to be answered. So yeah.
Are you a journalist, Wally, or have you worked in the news media before, Wally?
No, but I say like this, because when we're, as far as content creators like us, right, and we're reviewing and reacting to certain things in the news or anything like that, we have to have journalist perspectives, right? As far as being narrow, right in the middle, or being pervasively one-sided, depending on the evidence, give or take.
Correct.
And then from there, we say like that. But that's how I stand for it. That's where I stand on that. But ultimate journalism, yeah.
Okay, I definitely appreciate that, Wally. Bringing in your perspective on that. So, thank you, Wally, for coming on in. We're going to end it.
Yeah, no
I'm go ahead and drop you. So again, I appreciate you bringing that home with us. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna leave the link in the description if y'all want to watch the full interview. I'm pretty much with Wally on this one. It was lost in a done deal for this one. But Andrew the top G, so people want to see him and have that conversation. And this is my public opinion. Like I said before, on the last stream we did, we had other guests on the panel. I think he did it. I'm just gonna say it. I think he did it. I don't care how much money he sent me. I wouldn't welcome him in my house. I wouldn't welcome this type of individual around my kids if I had them. Definitely my nieces and nephews, especially women. I wouldn't have him around a female family member. And if I didn't like him, I just wouldn't. Is he the most dangerous person in the world that he was saying? No, I don't think because there's a lot of evils out there. So much different forms of evils out there. And he's one of them. And that's my opinion. Manipulation, exploiting, toxic, all that, and then some. Do I feel like, according to the conversation me and M3 had, do I feel like he was under pressure? No, because he knew what he was doing. We seen him on Vice, we seen him on Fresh and Fit, we seen him on multiple other platforms in the UK and the US. He know how to handle himself. This is him all day focusing. I'm telling you, watch people body language. Watch people body language. I do it all the time. I'm fine with conversations, but if you mention something that I'm cold-heartedly into, which again, we're human, stuff we work on, I'm busting out of frame. Shout out to M3 on Nazareth Ship. I can have every other conversation, but if we're talking about the gaming and this is my little triggers, you mention about the game, stuff like that. Oh no, and I know you're wrong. Oh, I'm coming in. This is his frame. This is his frame. As soon as he come out that frame, the veins is coming out. The hands is moving. He come out of frame. Now, does that mean he's lying? No, but it gives you dead telltale signs of a person behavior. Dead telltale signs of people behavior. There's a lot of people. Aren't we voting? Aren't we voting for our local governments? Who's in charge? City councilmen, mayors, presidents. What's the one thing they don't do? They don't wave their hands. They don't go all over the place. Look into that. People move. I can't trust somebody to move their hands more than they talk. I really can't. To me, you're dangerous. You're too reactive. You moving your hands more than you talking? I'm leaning back. Let me get 3 feet because I gotta watch and how I say stuff around you. I just got to. So no, I can't. And what make him dangerous? No, he's not out there physically doing stuff that I haven't seen. Nope, he's not beating or hitting no women out there. Nope, I haven't seen it. Nope. But what make you dangerous? Like I said earlier, the fact that you're that big of an influencer and kids are involved. I don't play with kids. Kids are impressionable. Heck, look at adults now. We're giving our cell phones, our smart devices to kids. We're giving our stuff to kids. And we'll make comments like, oh, my 2-year-old, he or she knows how to open up my phone. So why would you even put that as a line of growth and development to your kids? Why would you do that? We got books. We got training courses. I know kids that can speak like 3 to 5 languages at the age of 6. But we choose to put smart devices and media in front of our kids' face. That don't make any sense. That don't make any sense. So no, I would not have him around anybody that I know, especially a woman. And yes, is he one of the most? Yes, he's one of the most dangerous. Why? Because he's a biggest influencer. That word means something. The biggest influencer, a manipulator to the highest degree, and literally just saw where he's telling men how to be the same version of him. The same version of him. That's scary. That is scary. So thank y'all for coming out. Definitely be doing a stream every. Matter of fact, yeah, I will be doing a reaction stream every morning, about 11 o'clock in the morning. Trying to work out an interview. Today is Saturday with Vic and their wife about online dating, where they actually met and got married, and they met through the Sims video game. So that should be at 11 p.m. tonight Central Time, I believe. I just have to confirm that with them. If it's not tonight, it's definitely going to be Sunday night. So definitely hit the bell notification. Keep an eye on that one. Tuesday, we will be having an interview about Lieutenant Governor in North Carolina, some stuff he was saying. So that is confirmed. So we will have the guest for that one. And and that's pretty much it. So I appreciate y'all guys coming through. And thank you.
At last.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do, I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose.